Good morning, children. Let's begin our morning with the magic of science. So, today we will be continuing our lesson number 14, Measurement and Effects of Heat. So, students, before beginning with the new concept, let's recall our previous session's important points. So, what we studied, students, whenever we have to find heat required for temperature change in calories and in joules, we want the two terms. First, mass of water, which is in grams, and second, change in temperature, which is in degree Celsius. When we multiply both the terms, the answer we get is nothing but the heat required for temperature change. So, here comes the formula. Heat required for temperature change is equals to mass of water in grams multiplied by change in temperature, which is in degree Celsius. Based on this formula, now let's solve the numerical. Question 1. How much heat will be needed to raise the temperature of 1.5 kilogram of water from 15 degrees Celsius to 45 degrees Celsius? Give the answer in calorie as well as in joules. From here, we came to know that, students, we have to find heat required to raise the temperature. Read the line of question number 1. Okay, we have to find heat required to raise the temperature. Now, mass of water is given, student, 1.5 kg of water. But students, we want in kilograms. So, what we will do? Now, we will convert kg into grams. So, how to convert it? We know, students, 1 kilogram is equals to 1000 gram. So 1.5 multiplied by 1000 is equals to 1500 grams. So students, we got the mass of water as 1500 grams. Now next is change in temperature is given from 15 degrees Celsius to 45 degrees Celsius. Okay, now we came to know that what is given and what we have to found out. So, what is given? First, mass of water, which is equals to 1500 gram. And second, change in temperature, which is equals to 45 degrees Celsius minus 15 degree Celsius, which becomes 30 degree Celsius. Now, students, to find is heat required for temperature change. We know the formula, students. Let's remember the formula. Let's recall it. Heat required for temperature change is equals to mass of water, which is in grams, multiplied by change in temperature. Now we will substitute the value. Mass of water is given as 1500 multiplied by change in temperature is 30 degree. Okay, so after multiplying, we get as 45,000 calories. We got the answer in calories. Now converting into joule. We know, students, we have learnt it before, 1 calorie is equals to 4.18 joule. So now 45,000 will be multiplied by 4.18. We will get as the answer in joules. After multiplying, we got 188100 answer, which is in joule. Now let's move to the next question. Question 2. If the temperature of water changes by 10 degrees Celsius on giving 300 calorie of heat, what is the mass of water? So now, students, here again two terms are given and the third one we have to find it. Given terms are change in temperature, which is 10 degrees Celsius, and heat required for temperature change is given as 300 calories. So what we have to find here, students? What is the mass of water? So again, student, we know the formula. Heat required for temperature change is equals to mass of water multiplied by change in temperature. So we'll substitute the value, students, now. Heat required for temperature change is given as 300, which will be equal to mass of water multiplied by 10. We know the solution, student. 10 will come to the LHS side, which then it will change its sign. It will become as division. So 300 divided by 10 gives you 30. So we got the answer as 30 grams. So the mass of water, we found the value as 30 grams. It was easy, students, isn't it? Okay. Now, next topic we are going to study is sources of heat. So students, what are the sources of heat? First, do you know the meaning of sources? See students, here sources means what are the things from which you will get heat. So, let's see the sources one by one from which we will get heat. So, the first source of the heat is sun, student. The sun is the biggest source of heat received by the earth. Yes, it is very much correct. It is the biggest source because our earth is so huge. Entire earth gets heat due to sun. Isn't it, student? You feel hot during the daytime when the sun shines brightly, and also you can distinguish between the day and night because of sun's light. Yes, students, isn't it? Okay. A large amount of heat is generated due to the nuclear fusion taking place in its center. So, how heat is generated? Because of the nuclear fusion taking place at the center of the earth. Now, students, what is fusion? Fusion means getting fused or to get mixed with one another and form one object. When two or more objects come together and fuse with each other and form only one object, then it is said as fusion. Okay, students? So see, students, what happens over here? In this process, hydrogen nuclei fuse together to form helium nuclei. Whatever hydrogen nuclei is there fuse together and form helium nuclei. Now students, see here. Whatever mass of 4 hydrogen is more than the helium mass, and helium mass is less than the 4 hydrogen mass. So whatever unbalanced mass remains converts into heat and light, and from this some of the heat and light reaches the earth. And students, that some part of it is very much for us. Okay, students, do you understood now how sun generates heat and light? Okay. So we came to know that the biggest source of heat for earth is the sun, and very much amount of heat we get from sun, and this is possible because of nuclear fusion in which 4 hydrogen fuse together and form helium, and whatever unbalanced mass is converted into heat and light. So this was about first source of heat, that is sun. So moving to the second source, which is earth. As the temperature at the center of the earth is high, the earth is also a source of heat. This heat is called geothermal energy. So as we know, student, temperature at the center of earth is very high. So that's why earth is also the source of heat. So we can say that if the temperature is high, there is more heat, and we also get that heat. Yes, isn't it, students? The best example of Earth's heat is volcanic eruption. Okay, student? What do you mean by geothermal energy? Whatever heat or energy which comes from the earth is known as geothermal energy. The word geothermal is divided into 2 words. Here, geo means earth and thermal means heat. Okay, students, is it clear now? Okay, now let's move to the next source, which is chemical energy. When fuels like wood, coal, petrol, etc. burn, there is chemical reaction between the fuel and oxygen. Heat is generated in these reaction. What happens over here, students? See, pay attention. whatever oxygen is present in the atmosphere, with the help of that oxygen, chemical reaction takes place and from heat is generated, which we use in day-to-day life. The wood is burned and whatever flames comes out from the wood mixes with the oxygen which is present in the atmosphere and chemical reaction takes place between them. Due to this, heat generates. So hence it is said as chemical energy also generates heat. Okay? Is it clear, students? So from chemical energy we get heat. So this was the third source of energy. Now let's see the fourth source of energy. So the fourth source is electrical energy. Do you know, students, we come across daily with electrical energy. We will see how. We use electrical energy with the help of electricity in various electronic devices like iron, electric heater, oven, fridge and many other. So with the help of electricity we get heat. So we can say that this electronic devices with the help of electricity is giving heat. So it is the source of electrical energy. It was easy? Yes. Okay. So now, students, our fifth source of heat is atomic energy. A huge amount of heat is produced in a very short time when the nuclear fission takes place of some elements like uranium, thorium, etc. undergo fission. This is used in atomic energy. So students, here some radioactive elements are given, which are uranium and thorium, and said that when they are in fission. Now students, pay attention here. Fission means breaking. Not to get confused in fusion and fission. In fusion, elements were combining or mixing together. Now it's totally opposite. In fission, it is breaking. So is it clear, students? What do fission means? So here, uranium and thorium radioactive elements are used in various atomic energy projects. And these elements in atomic project are used specially for to generate electricity. This is how atomic energy is the source of electricity and also of heat. Okay. Now let's see the sixth source of heat, which is also the last source, that is air. A large amount of heat is present in the air around us. We know, student, in summer season full atmosphere is hot. So we get heat from there. So in our surrounding also lots of air is present and heat is present in air. So students, do you understand now how air is the source of heat? So students, this was all about sources of heat. Now let's move to the further topic, which is temperature. We can find out how hot or cold an object is by touching the object. However, a sense of hot or cold is relative. Yes, students, we can say the object is cold or hot by touching it. But this thing is not 100% correct, student, because what is mentioned? However, a sense of hot or cold is relative. Now you will be thinking, what is meant by relative? If we are touching an object which is hot, same object when we touch in another place, we can find it as cold. Relative means opposite, students. The object we can find somewhere cold and cold object we can find somewhere hot. For better understanding, let's do an activity, student. What we are going to do, students? We are going to take 3 vessels and name them as vessel A, vessel B and vessel C. Okay? we will fill vessel A with hot water and fill vessel B with cold water. Exactly opposite. We have to fill vessel A with hot water and fill the vessel B with cold water. And now we have to fill vessel C with some water from vessel A, which is hot, and some water from vessel B, which is cold. So students, vessel A was of hot water, vessel B was of cold water. Now vessel C will be having normal water because it is the mixture of hot and cold water. Okay? Are you able to understand it? Okay. Now, what we have to do, dip our right hand in vessel A, which is filled with hot water, and at the same time dip left hand in vessel B, which is containing cold water. Keep your hands dipped in both the vessel for 2 to 3 minutes. Now, remove the hand from both the vessel and dip both the hands together in vessel C, which is containing the mixture of both the water. Now students, vessel A was hot, so your hot maybe have become hot, and vessel B was containing cold water, so your hand would be have becoming a little bit cold. Now students, see here what you will feel even though both the hands are dipped in the same vessel which is having water, which is at the same temperature. So what happens now? Our right hand will feel cold. See students, right hand was filled in hot water. Then again dipping in it, vessel C, it became cold. Because from vessel A, hot water, heat is transferred in the hand. We have seen student, heat transfers from hot body to cold body. Here our hand was cold body and hot body was hot water. So that's why in vessel A, whatever heat was there in hot water got transferred to the hand. Okay. Now what happens? As soon as we dipped right hand in vessel C, we feel as cold because vessel C was containing normal temperature water. What will happen? The heat from the hot hand will get transferred to normal water and we can feel cold. Opposite sense is going on. Which hand was hot in vessel A? Now it's cold in vessel C. Are you getting it, student? What's going on? Heat transfers from high temperature to lower temperature. Now the left hand, which was dipped in vessel B, because of which our hand got cold. Why it got cold, student? For cold water, our hand was hot. Our hand was hot body comparatively. So heat transformation took place from our hand to water. And now as soon as we dipped our cold hand in normal temperature water in vessel C, we started feeling our hand hot because normal temperature water is a hot body now in comparison to a cold hand. So heat will transfer from normal temperature water to our cold hand. That is why here we feel our cold hand as hot. So here is just opposite. Which we were feeling as hot, here it became cold. For left hand, which we were feeling cold, it became hot. So now, is it clear, student? Sense of hot and cold is relative. So students, by only just touching, we cannot came to know that about the temperature of the hot object or the cold object. We cannot sense the object is hot or cold. That is why sense of hot and cold is relative. Okay, students? So students, how to know the object is hot or cold? If directly we touch the hot object, we can hurt ourselves, isn't it? So we feel the need of some device for measuring temperature. So students, a device named thermometer is used for measuring temperature. Students, we all have seen or read in our previous class about thermometer. Now students, in this lesson, we will be learning about the construction of thermometer in our next session. So students, this all concepts was about today's session. Children, please do see the video repeatedly for better understanding. Thank you students. Have a nice day.